like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. Help promote and rank on my channel. So we're going to be reviewing Spiral from the Book of Saw, released 2021. This is just the spin-off of all the Saw movies, but it's more in line with kind of just another entry in the main Saw franchise. Doesn't do anything distinctive or interesting enough. It doesn't offer its own signature stamp through the new character introduced as the kind of antagonist or villain. And this stars Chris Rock, who seems to be a hit or a miss in this film. His acting isn't top notch. And Samuel Jackson, they both bring an element of comedy that the Saw franchise hasn't had, but still, Samuel Jackson's role in it, even though it is starring him, his role is pretty much what his role is in Marvel movies. Pops in for a bit of business with the Avengers, then bells. It's like a glorified cameo almost. This movie is actually only like 130 minutes, which is also interesting, and I don't want to waste your time with my usual structure going into the positives, the negatives, and the overall score of it, because this one isn't good at all.
Saw copycat.
This is gonna go sideways fast.
So Chris Rock plays this kind of cliche type of cop that pretty much does his own thing, goes against the precinct, the way they do things, doesn't trust any of them, that kind of cliche cop.
We are homicide, but you're robbing drug dealers in a fucking hotel.
New killer that is going after corrupt cops on the force, and they're slowly investigating it, trying to unravel the mystery. It doesn't feel very well structured. It actually does feel like stuff's missing from this movie. It's just like, it's just going a little bit of everywhere, very fast. While that works well, pacing wise, it just feels like a chunk of this movie was cut, was ripped out of the film. Don't get really heavy into the Saw stuff. Characters do have a story, each of them, and there is something there, but not really. It's not that great, honestly. It's a well-shot, well-directed movie, excellent lighting. It sets the atmosphere of a Saw film, moral code, Saw contraptions, pig mask doll, brutality. It feels very Saw, but it's just a copycat that does nothing interesting or creative enough to warrant or justify its existence as a spin-off. They talked about wanting a Marvel shared style universe, but the Avengers wouldn't be what they are if everybody on the team was Iron Man. There's no reason to try to do spin-offs if nobody's gonna have their own distinctive signature stamp that makes them anything different from the original Saw killer.
Get everybody out of here.
The voice of the killer, it's very off-putting. It doesn't sound menacing.
Hello, Detective Banks. When was the last time you saw your father?
Or sinister at all. It sounds very robotic. It sounds like it's straddling between male and female. It's not scary. It sounds dull, boring, and just bad. Really bad.
Hello, Detective Boswick. I want to play a game.
Some of the acting in here, Chris Rock definitely needed to deliver more of a punch to some of those lines. Sometimes he's doing great in this film, and then other times it feels like he's phoning it in. A ton of flaws in this movie. When you really think about it, there's just a bunch of flaws. You have a killer that's insanely smart, but simultaneously incredibly dumb. It's baffling. There's just a lot of things in here that are really dumb, including the ending. It's like the ending was done for that original Saw shock value of the twist isn't even great. You can see it very early on. You can see it coming from a mile away. There's nothing in here that really stuck out for me. I didn't find this great. I didn't find this good. I found that it was well directed, but the storytelling was sloppy. The script was sloppy. The acting was a hit or a miss in certain departments.
play me.
So I did not like this film at all. And on Rotten Tomatoes, which doesn't really matter, it's got a 37 score from critics, and for some reason it's got a 75% audience score. So I guess that means that people like it more than me, and if you liked it, I'm glad you did, but I just couldn't stand it. Miles better had you actually had a menacing voice and a killer that puts their own distinctive stamp on. I know it's supposed to be a copycat, but an exact copy with like the pig mask. I want to play a game with footage, the TV, and their own doll, just the way it is. And that voice is absolutely fucking terrible. It's not sinister, it's not menacing, it's not mysterious. It just sounds really awful and terrible, and should be ashamed of yourself for running with that voice.
Hello, Detective Boswick. I want to play a game.
If all it would have took is a different voice, and this movie would have set way higher up with me, a 5 out of 10, because frankly I think it sucks. I don't think it does anything new or interesting. I think that it's just very dull, boring. It doesn't do enough of the hardcore soul trap stuff. It does have brutality, and it just doesn't do enough.
So, copycat. It's gonna go sideways fast.
Final score on this, 5 out of 10. Only 130 minutes long, so it won't take too much of your time if you don't like it. And if you do like it, then you're wasting no time at all. So fake good one here. Eventually we will like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. Stay awesome. Rock on.